In a previous video, I talked about the Dance of the Dragons, the brutal civil war between Rhaenyra Targaryen and her half-brother Aegon II. But in that video, I focused on the differences between the claim of Aegon II, which was based on historical precedent and the custom of male primogeniture, and Rhaenyra's claim, which was grounded in the will and proclamations of King Viserys I. In that video, I said that it was very interesting that in Fire and Blood, several of the great houses, despite the fact that they themselves uphold male succession laws, chose to back Rhaenyra's claim instead of Aegon's. It was always a detail that fascinated me about that story, and in that video, I explained exactly why each of the great houses supported Rhaenyra's cause. But not every house supported her claim. In fact, there were 3 houses that kept their word and honored Westerosi traditions and customs in supporting Aegon's claim. These great houses were the Lannisters, the Baratheons, and the Hightowers of Old Town. These great houses supported Aegon II during the Dance of the Dragons, fighting against the Blacks and defending the king's rights throughout the conflict. But why? Why did these houses stay true to Aegon's cause when the others turned their backs to it? For the Hightowers, their reasons for supporting Aegon's claim were pretty simple and obvious. Alicent Hightower was the mother of the king, so it was a given that the Hightowers would defend the power that their family now held over the realm. For them, supporting Aegon's claim was about maintaining their dynastic power and legacy. That's why they had to ensure Alicent's other children's claims were always defended, because they knew that they had Hightower blood and a stronger claim to the throne than Rhaenyra's bastards. During the Green Council, when Alicent is warning the other council members about Rhaenyra and Daemon, she says, "Nor will they spare my children. Aegon and his brothers are the king's true-born sons, with a better claim to the throne than her brood of bastards." This is perhaps also the reason why Daeron was sent to Old Town to be fostered by Lord Ormond Hightower, so that it could serve as an insurance policy just in case anything happened to Aegon and Aemond in King's Landing. You could even say that since Daeron served as a cupbearer for Lord Ormond Hightower during his youth, he had some influence over him because he was such a diligent and respected young man. Lord Ormond would have looked at him almost like a son, and so when the war began and Daeron wanted to go and defend his brother's claim, Lord Ormond was moved by Daeron's devotion, and that's why he sent forth his army. It's possible that the Hightowers were fighting more for Daeron than Aegon himself, especially after Rhaenyra took over the city and Aegon disappeared into thin air. Some people might have thought that since the king had likely died, why not champion his brother Daeron's claim instead? Regardless of the exact reason for why Lord Ormond decided to march, it's clear that family ties and legacy had something to do with his final decision. That's why the Hightowers supported Aegon's cause, because they wanted to preserve their blood on the Iron Throne. This is similar to the reason for why House Baratheon supported Aegon's claim. For the Baratheons, they too wanted to protect their interests and legacy, because Lord Boris Baratheon had been offered a marriage alliance with Aegon II's side. Unlike Rhaenyra's envoy, Lucerys, who arrived at Storm's End demanding fealty from Lord Boris, Aegon's envoy, Aemon Targaryen, asked for a betrothal to one of his daughters, and Lord Boris granted it. In Fire and Blood, it said, Prince Aemond had been uncertain what sort of welcome he would receive when he set out, but Storm's End welcomed him with feasts, hunts, and jousting. Lord Boris proved more than willing to entertain his suit. "I have 4 daughters," he told the prince. "Choose anyone you like. Cass is oldest. She'll be first to flower. But Floris is prettier. And if it's a clever wife you want, there's Maris." We have no record of which daughter Prince Aemon finally decided on, save that it was not Maris. In the end, Aemond married one of the Baratheon girls. Many fans say that it was likely Floris, and because of that, House Baratheon was won over to the Green cause. Though his father had sworn fealties to King Viserys, Lord Boris prioritized his own family's interests over past oaths. He fought for Aegon's claim in order to protect the rights of his future heirs, and he didn't accept Rhaenyra's plea because she came empty-handed, offending him greatly by not even offering anything to counter.
Go home, pup, and tell your mother that the Lord of Storm's End is not some dog that she can whistle up at need to set against her foes.
That is why House Baratheon fought for Aegon's claim, because they had a marriage alliance with the Greens and wanted to protect their future interests. The Lannisters, on the other hand, supported Aegon's cause mostly out of loyalty. The Lannisters truly believed in the custom of male primogeniture, and so they defended Aegon's claim mostly because of that. Even in House of the Dragon, Jason Lannister assumes Aegon is now Viserys' heir because he is a male heir and because the law would suggest so.
Rhaenyra may take her place there by my side without shame and feel herself well compensated for her loss in station.
What loss of station?
If you were to name young Aegon heir, Your Grace.
And when would I be doing that?
I had assumed, as he is your firstborn son.
The Lannisters truly believed in the custom of male primogeniture, and so they defended Aegon's cause to preserve this ancient custom and tradition. Though perhaps it should also be noted that the Lannisters held an influential position in the King's Small Council, with Lord Tywin Lannister being the King's Master of Coin. This is a very powerful position in the King's court, and it is likely that the Lannisters remained loyal to Aegon's cause because they wanted to maintain this powerful, influential position. Even before the Green Council, when King Viserys was still alive, Otto Hightower had named Tywin Lannister as Master of Ships. Even then, he held a pretty important position in the King's Council. So after the death of Lord Beesbury, during the Green Council, Tywin Lannister was promoted to Master of Coin, and he was tasked with keeping some of the crown's gold during the war.
Lord Lannister.
The treasury is well in hand. The gold will be divided for safekeeping.
It could be argued that because of their important position in the King's Small Council and the critical role that they played in financing the royal coffers, the Lannisters supported Aegon's cause in order to retain their positions and influence over the Green Council, as well as the realm's affairs at large. That's why this great house was ultimately Team Green. For the most part, the great houses that supported Aegon's cause mostly did so because of the brilliant political maneuvering of Otto Hightower and his daughter Alicent. In the book, it is as a result of their cunning that most of these houses support the Green cause. It is Otto who gives the Lannisters these powerful positions in court, and he is also the one who sends Aemond to make the marriage alliance with Boris Baratheon. In Fire and Blood, it says, "Your purpose is to win the hand of one of Lord Baratheon's daughters," his grandsire Sir Otto told him before he flew. "Any of the four will do. Woo her and wed her, and Lord Boris will deliver the Stormlands for your brother." As a result of this, Aemond secures the support of House Baratheon. However, it is Alicent who organizes the Green Council and who leads the Greens thereafter. In the book, Alicent is just as important as Otto in rallying people to Aegon's cause, even though in the show she seems more passive, uncommitted, and without agency. On House of the Dragon, she doesn't really do much to champion Aegon's claim, but in the book, she is the one who leads the whole camp. Although it's Otto's idea to make a marriage alliance with Boris Baratheon, it's Alicent's reasoning that leads them to that conclusion. In the book, it's said that, though old Bormund had died, his son Boris was even more belligerent than his father, and the lesser Stormlords would surely follow wherever he led. "Then we must see that he leads them to our king," Queen Alicent declared, whereupon she sent for her second son, Aemond. In the book, Alicent's role is more prominent and she has far more agency than on the show. She's the reason why the Green Cause becomes so strong and politically coordinated. In the end, these great houses end up supporting Aegon's claim because of the efforts of Otto and Alicent, and also because of their own political interests. I think it's pretty safe to say that these great houses supported Aegon's claim not just because of customs and traditions, but also because of family ties and dynastic interests, marriage alliances, and because of the political positions that they held in the Green Council. They had complicated motives for supporting the king, but they still stood by Aegon's cause until the end. That was why these great houses supported Aegon's claim. What do you think about this topic? Let me know down below in the comments section, and if you liked this video, then click the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. Peace.